Hey Wakefield, I'm just taking a look at your logo design here. Looks like you went with a different kind of dice. I think that's probably maybe a reference to a certain game, maybe either Dungeons and Dragons or I can't remember all the different ones that this kind of thing is for. I like it. I do think the letter or the numbers didn't trace very well. I can see you have layers here, which is cool. Yeah, the letters just didn't trace, or the numbers just didn't trace very good. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if you really need them because, you know, they're making this logo design pretty, maybe too detailed, I guess is what I mean to say. So you might want to just turn this off or either get on these, and you can use the eraser tool and just erase. You have to have it selected for the eraser to work on it. That's why it's not doing anything. We can double click on the eraser and maybe make it a little bit bigger. And let's just like erase everything besides your name. And let's click on get these selected and erase everything besides your name. So that makes it a little bit less complicated, right? Also, these are outlined, which is good, but I don't know why you went with two different fonts. I would keep it all the same font, and I would try not to use Papyrus. I think this is Papyrus. Try not to use that because it's kind of a joke in the design world that Papyrus is just like a really ugly font. It's kind of like an elitist thing that designers do, making fun of Papyrus. But so, I mean, I like what you've done here. I almost wonder if you grabbed the rounded rectangle tool, clicked and dragged out, filled in the fill color black, then made the stroke maybe none. And I think you're working in essentials, which is fine, but if you want more options, you can go to essentials. Well, maybe you are in essentials. Okay, never mind. And then we can arrange, send to back. And I don't know, I almost wonder if we just click and I'm not sure if this is going to work actually, and then we can just reverse all of this. I think maybe you drew these from scratch, which is pretty cool. But we could reverse. I'm pushing shift on the keyboard to get multiple things selected, and then I'm just going to switch those into there to just kind of reverse. Oh, that's making it much more. I don't know if that really did what I wanted it to do. This is a lot more complicated of a design than I thought. There's a few more areas that I would have to reverse out on this, I think. Ooh. Okay, it's not as simple as I thought it would be. But I'm trying to make it so that this is white. I'm going to do it over here. You know how you've constructed this, so you'll best know how to change everything. But I kind of think it looks cooler like this. And then we can push shift on the keyboard and keep it pushed down as we select the fonts. And I can make those white. This really didn't come out right. I think it's because there's a stroke on it. Maybe you put a stroke to make it more bold. But we want it to be white. That's a little better. So, and then one thing to add too would be, definitely to grab the text tool, click and hold down, and I hope I spelled your name right. I probably not. I have a trouble with I before E for some reason. Okay, Wakefield Guyant. We can center align this in the properties panel under paragraph. You could do a nice font pair with this. You could make this on 2 lines even. And I like I said, I would actually take these off maybe, and just put something new in there, like a different font face. And I would use like a really bold, and maybe all the same font, but I would use like a really bold font. So whichever you find, and nothing with too much like crazy thicks and thins, like just something with like kind of an even thick and thin to it, and something very bold that's going to show up really well. Maybe like something like this, you know, we'll make it white, and you know, maybe shrink this around so it's not so big. Command C, Command V, you know, we can highlight that, make it an A. We can also push Option on our keyboard, click and hold and drag out a new one, double click, put a K in there, Option, hold, let up on the mouse, let up on Option, put an E in there, and then we can just, you know, reposition these how you had them. You might want to put, I don't know if you do want to put, you might want to keep it all just like up and down instead of like off kilter like you did with this one. You can experiment, see what you like, but it might actually be easier to read as one word if it's just up and down, all of them together. And, you know, just choosing a nice font pair. So which font was this? This is, okay, I don't know. But if I Command A inside the text box to select all, I can use the eyedropper tool and, you know, do that, and then maybe make it black, and I could, you know, go back to the text tool, just get maybe Wakefield selected, go to the character in the properties panel, click on the 3 buttons to get more options. It'll bring up the whole and I can go here to the all caps button, and maybe I'll make your last name like a script font of some sort. Nothing too hard to read, obviously, or maybe something, you know, that G in a script can be hard to read. I'm not crazy about this one, but you get the idea. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then I'm going to move all this up. I forgot to grab the box, so I can move that up a little bit. I could probably make the box a little smaller too. Center everything nicely on the artboard. Maybe make the Guyon text as wide as Wakefield, so it doesn't get so small compared to Wakefield. Of course, we want all this to fit on the, we want all of it to fit on the artboard, but I'm going to go to this is in the characters panel. I'm going to the leading, which is the spacing between the lines. I don't know, I'm going to probably go with that. You don't have to do exactly this, obviously, but it's just maybe a nice font pair. I'm not crazy about this font pair, to be honest with you, but, and then maybe reversing it out. Maybe going with something a little more simple for these. And obviously you know how to outline the text boxes, but you can right click on them, or you can go to Type, Create Outlines. Same thing. So Type, Create Outlines. And let's see, how did you name your file? Okay, so Wake Logo Draft 2. So when we do a file, let's do a file save as on this, and so this is the black and white version. So this is how we want to name this file. You know, this is the AI Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator document, the working document. So I saved that like this, and then we can do like a file save as, and we can make the color version after we get all of our fonts outlined. After we get everything dialed in, we can start adding color. Did I outline all the fonts? Yeah, I did. So let's do file save as. This is where we change the name to CMYK, and we add color now. So we can use the white arrow tool to go around and just change the colors of things. You might just want to change the black on this to like a color, I don't know, you can double click here too to get a custom color. Maybe you want this. And if you want to change the blacks, you know, you might have to push shift on your keyboard with the white arrow tool and select the shapes and change the fill color over here, double click, you know, you can pick a custom color. I'm not doing the best job, but I can click and drag. I can also just use the black arrow tool too to get, you know, it's all grouped together. You can ungroup it And you know, if you need to, click and hold, drag down. You know, maybe I'm going to change it to these things to be different colors, but I'm not sure. I just kind of grabbed whatever. But say that's the color version. You know, you save that. So we have your oops. So we'll have a black and white logo and then your color logo, and they're exactly the same when I switch back and forth, except for they have color. One of them has color. So the black and white one, you know, you need to do a file export as. I'm showing you how to get your files ready to turn into me. So the format needs to be a JPEG, use artboards, and then export. We're not going to change the name. Leave this on CMYK, put this on 300 ppi if it isn't already. This could be on maximum. This is the JPEG options, the box that shows up. Push OK. So that's how I get the JPEG for the black and white. And you do the same process for the color. So file, export as, use artboards. Let's put it on JPEG. Leave the name the same. Export, CMYK. Resolution should be 300. Push OK. And so the 4 files that you will turn in for your final logo will be these. So a AI and a JPEG of both the black and white and the CMYK. And I might have you zip them up in a folder and submit a zip file to me for a grade. I'm looking at your other rough draft that you did. This actually looks pretty good. That traced pretty well. You know, there's parts of it that you could maybe use the smooth tool on. As far as, maybe you were trying to make this a G? I'm not quite sure. It looks more like an S to me. If you are, I'm not quite sure but I would just put this here and maybe just put your whole name underneath of the logo, which you might find boring, I guess, and this is really detailed for a logo. It's great for like an icon or like a different type of design, but like for a logo, it's kind of almost too much. I'm not crazy about this font pair, by the way, but anyway, you get what I'm saying, to find a good font pair. But like, you know, you could do a similar thing here with this if you want to go with the dragon. But I would get rid of the arrangement that you had with the text and the icon that you made. Some parts of it are maybe a little too detailed, like right here for a logo, and also just other areas as well. But definitely these two things are very detailed, or small detailed anyway. I would almost go, yeah, with the dice idea, just because it's more bold. Yeah, and I really don't like this font pair that I came up with, but I do kind of think that reversing it out looks nice, and I think adding a bolder font that is all the same. You could probably still put them off kilter if you're really, you know, wanting to go with that. But they also look good up and down as well. So I don't know. I kind of am still liking the for the logo anyway. I'm still liking the dice. Anyway, this is getting to be kind of a long video, so I'll stop here. But anyway, great job, and hopefully this video is helpful to you. Talk to you later.